Welcome back, FHF. It's AC cooling out the heat.
And it's hot today, man. We sweating in here, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all for coming, though. Thank y'all.
We back for another episode on the pod. Today we got a special guest.
Absolutely.
With an inspiring story. He went through his personal hell and overcame it and did a comeback story and still continuing till this day. And then we got Avery here.
Welcome, man. Welcome, man. What's up?
So, little thing about Avery is, this is Thomas's younger brother.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Avery, to the audiences and to us.
I'm Avery. I was born in 2005. Favorite color is purple, and I'm a high school dropout. And
I am too.
Nice.
Fun.
Fun.
That going for us.
This is perfect then.
Yeah. All right, go for it.
Yep. That's all I really know.
Okay.
The fire intro.
So yeah, as we know, you are a high school dropout. So is Desmond. Desmond did the GED path, right? Is that where the path you went to as well?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
So right after for Desmond, you went to the Navy after the GED. He did all the progress getting into the Navy. Now, what is your next step after getting your GED?
My next step is to go into culinary school.
Ooh.
And eventually, at some point, hopefully own my own restaurant.
Okay.
And pursue my passions.
Yeah. That's funny you said that because me and your brother both worked in the restaurant industry and still work in the restaurant industry too.
Yeah.
So there could be a lot of conversations about the restaurant and cooking and just,
I can cook. I can chefing too. I can get in that conversation.
Thankfully, I have a lot of insights into the culinary industry of, friends. My godfather was a 5-star chef for New York.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to be spending some time with him to learn the basics.
Really? Like a
and then
mentorship?
So it'd be like a mentor type of thing.
I even made a beef Wellington the other week.
I love beef Wellington.
Yeah.
I never had one, but I've seen it on so many cooking shows that it's just iconic to me.
It's the best. If
It's
it's
really
cooked,
good.
if it's cooked right.
We had it with like foie gras and some stuff like that,
Have you seen any like Gordon Ramsay's?
Yeah,
I have multiple. I have a lot of his books, and I've learned a lot from them.
Okay,
so
that's awesome.
Before, I guess during this COVID time, I was watching a bunch of Gordon Ramsay show, and I was kind of inspired by Gordon Ramsay, but not by cooking, but just like running a restaurant in a way. And then, I guess the best part about that show is just him yelling at everyone.
Oh yeah,
even the customers too sometimes.
What are you? An idiot
Get out!
sandwich.
It is raw. I love that.
He's the most funniest.
Yeah,
I can still hear it mooing.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he's nice though.
Like, he's nice.
Yeah,
he
but
is
he's
nice.
just. I think it's just like an act in the TV.
Yeah. Think about it this way: if something you're really passionate about, and then you see some donkey coming in and fucking everything
the
up.
The simplest thing to makes sense.
How are you gonna
I
react?
That kitchen nightmares, man.
So before we continue on about your culinary skills, I kind of want to get like where it kind of started. Like how your path started. Like what was like? Tell us a little bit about your story and what during the time before before dropping off. Yeah,
there is
dropping out. Sorry,
a lot to that story.
Right.
There's really how you think of it, because there could be one defining start, or it could be ever since I was born. Because I started going to school like regular, and then. Is it okay for me to say my father's name? All right.
It's only up to you.
I'll just say father. He got in his head that homeschooling was a good idea. Learned nothing. For a few good years, I was out of elementary school. Then I came back to middle school, finished that. Okay. Then I went into high school. Not high school. I went into military school for a few months. And then COVID hit. Then never went into school again. Because he didn't like the political or COVID stuff. And he's just generally a crazy little man,
Okay. That's fair. So,
sorry, no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to make the comment that, so it seems kind of like the whole value of school never really got was something in your life in the first place. So
even before I started going into homeschooling, I was struggling. They wanted to test me for ADHD. When I don't think I have ADHD, I think it's a sub thing of something else different because my mother smoked a lot of weed while I was in the womb.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I get it.
That's a fair point. You know what's crazy? Like we had a whole like high school teacher podcast, and then you're kind of like you asked the same kind of exact question the past podcast.
Well, yeah, because it's like I'm asking those questions based off also what I experienced, you know. So it's just like first thing comes to mind. You know, he's talking about, I'm like, oh, I can kind of relate. So I'm like kind of like he probably went through this, and I'm asking, he's confirming it, you know.
But it's also just like his path.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was kind of chosen for him too, right?
Yeah. It was set up, you know. It definitely was set up
because of certain social standards, or you know, just overall, I was made to believe I was dumb. You know, I wasn't the smartest or brightest at all when I just wasn't. Let's face it, the education system is very flawed in so many ways. And have you ever heard of the fish climbing a tree theory?
No.
So it's like ask a monkey to climb a tree. Very easy.
Yeah.
You know, it'll do it almost immediately. What can a fish do really easily? Swim very good.
Yeah.
And if you say, no, you're not supposed to be able to swim, you're supposed to be able to climb a tree. That's where I think about with education.
You know, it kind of ties into what we were saying before in the high school teacher podcast. You know,
Zach.
about the teacher not a lot of teachers not being able to make connections with students because every student is different. You know, and that just completely can change their whole school path from there.
So speaking about teachers, have any like past teachers tried to reach out to you to encourage your education or anything like that?
There was one. In my first year of elementary, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Before I went into homeschooling, there was a teacher named, I'm not going to say her name. She had a very German name though, which I thought was weird. And she was very kind to me, and she made me love learning in that kind of way. But then as soon as I got into homeschooling or went into a different school, because I have constantly been moving around in my life, so I didn't stay in one school for too long. Yeah. She was very nice to me. Okay. She understood and this and that.
You said she was, so it kind of stopped after you after you got homeschool complete. You stopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Charles, I don't want to say his name.
It's all right.
He didn't want to put in that time to do it. Yeah. He was like, I saw some kid being smart because he was homeschooled. You don't know what that kid did to be smart.
If you were able to choose your own path, would you go to school? Or would you? Or which path would you have chosen differently?
Well, the social aspect of it was the biggest pull for me, because I spent a lot of time alone in my own echo chamber of thoughts and whatever, which is something I want to talk about later.
Of course. You know, that's funny because that's not funny, but I have the next question kind of asking about your mental health during the process. Yeah.
I think I wouldn't be the same person I am today if I didn't go down that path.
Right. I like that.
And I wouldn't have the ideologies or the thinking process. I wouldn't meet the same people I have met or had mind-changing experiences. So I think I begrudgingly would want to stay with the same path.
That is true.
Even though I might have hated it, it turned me into who I am now.
It builds character to yourself, and a special character especially too, because that's the path that you lived, not like other people have lived.
Yeah. And people, sorry to interrupt you. People will get forced to drop out if they need to do something first, like to get a job, help themselves get through life, or sometimes they just throw their hands and give up. And I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that. It's just the idea of giving up is you're giving up.
Yeah.
What else are you going to give up on in life?
Yeah. It's like you're completely just... It's like you're completely just stopping and just staying still.
And especially at that age, that's like the one thing that you're taught you have to do so it can really...
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a great time of year for your age to not give up because there's a bunch of opportunity and possibility for you. And it's amazing to, like, see that you flourish from what you were doing. Not what you're doing, but, like, what you were, you know, your path that you came from.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily dealt a good hand. You know?
Yeah, and then also, your brother mentioned it in our previous pod about our addiction pod. And it was a really fascinating story. So that's why we kind of wanted, not kind of, but this is why we wanted you as our guest to explain more in depth your story. Yeah, of course. We appreciate you coming in on the podcast.
Yeah, no problem.
And real quick, I just want to touch back on it because when you say you don't regret it, I think that's like really important. It tells a lot about you because I think, you know, a lot of people, you know, they were dropped out or have something like that, you know, they consider it a failure. They would wish that, you know, things would change. They had, you know, the better route or more focus, but because you're okay with that, that means that you're content with what you have. That means you have like a vision that you're cool with, that you're getting to.
I wouldn't have been able to accept that without a certain friend and or, you know, substance to help me think on that other level, to break down my ego and build it back up.
Like that.
Well, I like to say, like, it's good to, like, go through something like hell or, like, you know.
Without the mistakes I made, I wouldn't.
It
wouldn't make the person you are. And it's great to make mistakes sometimes.
I agree,
like, unless it's, like, you know, causing, like, life consequences, that's where you just kind of have to take you gotta take a step back. But if it's, like, you know, something that you can grow from, it's absolutely the greatest thing to have.
It's trial by fire, which is a term I like to think about a lot. It's how I help certain friends sometimes, you know, even though it's like tough love almost.
It's kind of it's funny that you said that because when you said that, I imagine like stepping on Legos like repeatedly, you know.
That is its own kind of fire.
I don't know if you guys step on Legos before, but
the way I like to think about it is, I don't know if you've ever watched the Forged in Fire show.
I know the name.
Or it's like blacksmiths make swords.
Yep.
Yes.
They start cutting the little dummy. That's, you know, the jail dummy. Yeah.
And then heat treatment or carbon blades. This will all make sense here a second.
No.
And the hotter the fire is, the harder the blade, the better it is.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to think about in life.
Yeah.
Tempering your blade. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that was great.
I like that, for real.
So now I kind of want to get into your like mental health aspect. What was it like during that time for you?
So I have been very alone most of my life, actually. And recently that actually came up with my friends, and my friend was dealing with mental health issues and like asking me, how do I live with that? How am I able to process being alone so well? Simple, I've been alone most of my life. You know, Charles was my only friend. Damn it. I'm just gonna start saying his name. And moving around a lot, had to get used to that. I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Yeah, take time for your thoughts.
Yeah. Definitely caused an echo chamber in my head. Some philosophical thoughts happened, but then eventually it turned into something ugly about coincidences kept happening, like real life coincidences, and in my echo chamber of my mind, I legit started to go crazy. Started to think like reality wasn't real. Started to think, you know, nothing is as it is.
Yeah.
And that was a lot to handle, and I wouldn't have been able to get past that if I hadn't been around my friends. And they're really the only family I had, because my actual blood family, they knew nothing about me. And I don't personally think they care. Really, I only had my brother and my friend Garrett. Yeah, they're my chosen family.
That's very respectful. Respectful because you don't really need that much people around you. You could just have like one solid or two solid people around you, and
I would have legit lost my mind if I didn't have my friends. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, yeah, of course.
I have a bad habit of that.
No, you're good. Man.
No, it's like those people in a special cell where they just constantly think isolation cells. Yeah.
I felt like I was on my own planet.
I can relate to this so much.
Especially being out in the country and not in the city.
Yeah.
Because I was in Oregon.
I'm in Oregon.
And it was far for you to reach out to people, right?
I couldn't drive myself. I couldn't do anything. The only thing I had was a bike path that was like a good 40-minute bike ride to town. And, what's easier? To stay where you're comfortable, eat, gain weight,
No, I agree. Not that I agree, but I'm saying this is super relatable. Augustine was that person for me. Like literally, like people didn't know me. I didn't stop going to school. Even when I was going to school, I just locked myself in a room. I didn't say, I didn't have nobody. I wasn't talking to my pops at the time. I lived with my mom, but I wasn't talking to her at all. I remember I damn near went mute for like 2 years. I just didn't have nobody to talk to. So having Augustine here for me, like he brought me out of my shell. Like, bro, I remember, I straight up was like, I wonder what it's like to have parties. What's it like to drink? What's it like to have friends?
When you're alone like that, you're in your own echo chamber of, like, your own thoughts. Then you think on those thoughts, and then they start to distort. Generational erosion.
I don't know what that means.
I'm not familiar with that. Yeah,
I
guess.
Why we don't really, some say like 1,000 years ago, you hear a story, and then that story is retold. And a word here or there is changed, and then that generation tells the story again. Another word is changed, and then over time, it becomes a completely different thing.
I know exactly.
Like telephone game.
Yeah. Just like telephone game, but just generations. Yeah.
And it's like that, except in your mind.
Yeah. Man. That is deep, man.
What? I guess like when you kind of re-entered school, like you said, military school, right?
Yeah.
Did that affect you socializing with the people around you?
It did affect me, but again, I was only there for a few months. I say again weirdly. And
were you able to like reach out or talk to anybody to make you?
Not really. The only person I really had was my friend and my father, and he was like, whenever I'd say anything, he'd make it about something about him or playing piano, which I didn't like to do.
You're talking about your father?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So so on top of you not having people to talk to, like the person the most immediate person you could talk to shut you down. So not only that, you also
shut me down.
Yes.
He's a bipolar narcissist. So that on top of everything.
Yeah.
I guess I have a kind of interesting. Have you ever tried to reach out like on the internet to people, like social media or something like that?
There was a time where on like Discord, I wasn't telling them about my life.
Right.
But it was very important to me to have that kind of connectedness with like Discord communities or talking with people every day, texting on voice chats or that helped me a lot. I even made some good internet friends. They were some of my first actual internet friends that I stayed with for a long time.
Right.
Still connect with every now and then.
That's awesome.
Because the reason why I asked is because, during COVID, it was like the most isolation time. And I, didn't really talk to much people besides because I was only playing video games. And the only people I was able to reach out to was people playing video games. Same. And I feel like that kept me more sane than insane because I was able to talk to these guys through, like, the microphones. Not even knowing who they actually are.
And you didn't even care about it.
Yeah, but I don't even care. We're just cool. We're just talking. We're just gaming, and we're just having a great time. Just like we're like friends. Like, I would just hang out with, like, my friends around me. Like it was like normal, and it's just it felt right every day, because I didn't feel alone. Because sometimes they'll hit me up, be like, hey, you want to play? I'm like, yeah, of course. Yeah. And it's that's why I asked. I feel like stepping out that comfort zone too, just trying to reach out to people online too. It's I feel like it'll help out the isolation in a way.
I agree. Yeah.
Even though like you're losing that physical connection,
still a good
connection. It's just still a good like connection.
Yeah. And you need a mixture of all, but it's good to have that little, at least something keeping you anchored to the world. That's actually why. That's why I have this necklace all the time, is because it was a gift from my family, and something about this necklace. I've never worn jewelry in my life. I can't stay with it, but something about this necklace keeps me grounded. It keeps me.
I did see you wear that necklace last time that we met. Yeah. The first time meeting Avery was last year. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the same fish hook. I like that. Yeah. I can attest to having shit on me to be grounded. That's my guitar, bro. Yeah. I be feeling like a whole different person. I be a whole different person.
Are you sure it's not the headphones?
No, you're right. He got me. Headphones, guitar.
I don't think I never seen you without headphones.
You're right.
Not even like in high school. You always had headphones on.
You will never see me without headphones.
It was since high school too,
bro. Since elementary school, you can ask anybody in my entire existence that I've ever met. You can ask them, have they ever seen me without headphones?
I feel like the music in your ears keep you grounded.
Your own little safe space and somewhere to go.
No, straight up. Like I knew this guy. We met in high school. And that was
you've never seen me without it. You've never seen me without it. And
that's why video games were such an important thing to me. Yeah. Not as much now because I have a much larger social life. But I still love to come back to video games, and they're a safe space. There's somewhere for you to disassociate with your real life.
My favorite games to play to not like socialize with people and want to just keep my own ground is usually like solo games.
Yeah, like farming games or Skyrim.
Another peaceful one is Minecraft. You're just building your own house.
I have like 1,000 hours on Skyrim.
Yeah,
such a good game.
It is.
Did almost everything you can do in that game.
I still ain't got past Riften. I ain't gonna lie. Every time I'll start downloading a bunch of mods and start breaking. Yeah. Then I fix it. Then I start going crazy. And I'm like, I don't even like these mods. Reset it. Bro, I probably made about 55 characters. And I still ain't one past Riften. God.
One of the OP things I found was playing a Khajiit and then you got the unarmed thing.
I wanted to try
that. Those are OP weapons at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, I wanted to try that.
I used to be Avenger just like you.
Then I loved all the exploits you can do because they're optional. It's a working game, and then if you want, you can. Hey, I want to be overpowered.
This is not an advertisement nor a promotion.
This is just love for the game.
We just love the game.
But please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. Todd Howard, we will host.
I've been here since Oblivion. Come on now.
New trailer for the new Elder Scrolls game.
I hope so. So what advice would you give out to those out there listening or watching, on like process of like dropping out and then having a mental health, like, being able to keeping
yourself grounded and sane.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Find something to do every day. Something reliable, something that's there. Yeah. Like something as small as something to hold, like this necklace, something to listen to, and try to talk to people. You might feel trapped, which was a huge thing for me before I moved out. There's always something. You can ask yourself a question, and you'll surprisingly quick find your answer.
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to yourself without bias, without, personal hatred, you'll get your answer.
I always, it's funny you say that because I always ask myself, questions about certain things, or I would tell myself certain things too, like, don't do that shit. Like in my head, I physically would like about to do something, but like, wait, don't do that shit.
It's your lizard brain, the thing that's like, this is what you need to do.
Something for me that worked a lot was knowing when to separate your feelings from your thoughts and then when to unseparate them. So it's like, say you about to...
That's like the hardest thing to do too. It takes
practice.
It takes monkey years.
For real.
You gotta go up to the temple, up to the mountains.
You gotta climb the mountain. You gotta meditate, sit at the peak. Hit the
had plenty of time for that.
You gotta balance your whole chakra trying to do that. But no, seriously. So it's like to break it down. It's kind of like say you're about to do something you don't want to do. You can be like, oh wait, but how would I feel about this tomorrow if I did that? Right? Yeah. You can kind of like. I'll be angry about it, so that's like putting the feeling back into it. Or you can already be mad about something. Say some friend talked to you weird or something, and now you're going about your day, looking mad at everybody. You can just go, wait, am I really even mad at anything? Yeah. Why I look mad?
Like why am I even mad? Or like,
is there something else that's fucking with me or?
Yeah, exactly. Just knowing when to put the feeling in, your thoughts, and knowing when to take them out. I think it's huge.
It's just thinking about whether like the consequences that comes along with it. That's what I like to do. Like the consequences.
Something my therapist and I have been doing is and get a therapist. That's a big one. It doesn't even have to be anything deep. It could just be someone to regularly talk to. That's another thing to ground you. Oh God, what was I going to talk about?
You're good. Yeah.
I think, to be honest, it's like the main thing about that is having it. Go ahead.
Try to put your different reactions to scenarios into their own personas. Because you might have your who you turn into when you're angry. What part takes over when you're sad? What part takes over when you're, anything.
Yeah.
They say that once you're angry, you're already lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, when I'm angry, it's like I'm in the back seat. I'm watching myself do this. I am not myself. I am watching myself throw whatever this is or scream.
Yeah.
And you kind of just realize, wait, that's not
me.
That's not who I am.
Yeah, you're watching yourself. You're angry. You're watching yourself. And
that's like a whole nother like. How I see it is like it's a whole nother person. If I see myself angry, like wait, that's not who I am.
No, it is.
That's somebody else right there.
Yeah, it's important to make that separation, but it's also important to not get too separated from that because that is still a part of you.
Yeah,
it's not you, but it's a part of you.
It's like a part of you like held back.
Yeah, because
it's like Naruto. The demons in it, locked up.
The Nine Tails.
It's locked up, but like locked up, but like it comes out sometimes because it leaks.
Because we all need that part of us that is ready to fight or fly.
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do if you don't have that?
Well, I feel like anger is important too because it's a good drive. One, it's a good fight.
But
too.
everything in moderation.
Yeah, moderation, of course. And
too much of anything will kill you.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I use my anger at the gym. Yeah. And that helps me a lot because it pushes me to like excel from like lifting weights and like breathing or whatever. It gets me going during the gym days.
Yeah, so I think it's important to find that because for me, I use my anger to motivate me from like it'll get me out of slumps. You know, like if I'm feeling depressed, I'm gonna be like, man, I ain't no.
I bet you're forgetting one thing. You're forgetting your kickboxing and stuff like that.
Oh, that's right. I do. I be going stupid on the back.
This guy goes stupid on the back.
I be hitting the full on Tekken 7 moves on that. Whatever.
I want to start stuff like that when I lose a little more weight. Because last trip when I was here, I've lost 10 pounds a month, 30 pounds.
You know what that sounds like?
That sounds like a dub. Come on now, back in the podcast with another dub.
I started doing a calorie deficit, and that's been slowly shedding everything. I have more energy.
So, that's awesome. To explain to the viewers, it's like counting the calories, right?
Yes.
With what you eat.
I have an app that takes certain things and like count your calories.
Yeah. What have you been eating the most that been helping that situation for you?
Tomato soup.
Oh, I can vouch for you for that.
Yep.
Tomato soup?
Tomato soup and canned chicken. Ugh.
Almost every day.
You like it?
Well, you mix it together?
I do like it, depending on the spices I use.
Do you mix it together?
Garlic, onion powder. My fault.
Yep. Love cayenne. Love to make it spicy, garlicky. Put a little bit of cream cheese in there and Yeah.
He's speaking facts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, that's speaking of the chef, too. He got all that ingredients going. He just listed, like the whole fucking ingredient board.
Yeah,
I can recognize
it's a good thing. That's like 530 something calories for one meal, and it fills you up pretty good. You know.
How many calories have you been eating per day then?
Per day, I'm limited to 1,800.
Oh wow.
That's less. That's like twice less than me.
Yeah. It's
I eat like two times more.
Twice less than me.
Before I was probably eating around 5,000 to 4,000 calories a day.
Okay.
I had no self-control. Yeah. That's why I'm like this. And if you just practice that kind of self-control, that thought on that deep of a level, because that's what I turned to. One of the things I turned to when I was alone.
Yeah. Well, so
doing myself a huge favor.
Was that like a kind of a depression era for you?
Yeah.
So I feel like I think we kind of talked about this before. So during the depression era is usually when we tend to eat a lot because that's how we cope with our feelings and
you don't move as much.
Yeah, you don't move as much and you don't really do as much too because you can't go anywhere.
Because biologically, in your brain, when you're eating, you're like, oh, this is a safe space.
Yeah,
I'm safe.
Exactly.
So then you turn to it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Because, like you were saying, you didn't really have anywhere to go besides, where you were. And then what you really can do is just eat and be in your own safe space.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Man, I remember that's why I was like 250. Remember, I was chunky before. I was a little chunky. Oh, you didn't see me all about chunky.
I never seen you.
Yeah, you didn't see me about chunky.
I always see you like a toothpick.
I used to be 250, and remember I had to lose the went to boot camp. I had to lose 70 pounds to reach my limit. So I had lost what I think I lost 70
250
pounds.
is a dream to me right now. God, my breaking point after I got home from Thomas's, I was 400 fucking pounds. Well, oh my God, where did it all go? It's ignoring. It was ignoring myself and it took a lot to say that number, but
I mean, I'm proud as fuck that you're.
Yeah. Well, you're at least. We should be. So we should. Yeah. But the thing is that you should be proud because you took a huge step of, finding yourself and figuring it out and taking that step. You lost 10 pounds.
That's like
I'm currently 367 now.
You know what that sounds like?
That sounds like another dunk. Yep. Welcome back for more dunks.
No, I'm just I think that's a proud moment. That's a big step. Even taking that one step, it's a big step.
Yeah.
It's gonna change the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
You're still doing it too. That's what I was saying. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. I haven't developed any kind of obesity related diseases. I'm perfectly fine. My heart rate is a little high, but I'm perfectly fine. I don't have any diabetes. I don't have Yeah. And I count myself very lucky cuz a lot of people at the weight I was, so much wrong with them. I attribute that to my strong heart, my strong lungs, my good genetics, unfortunately, from my mother and father.
Okay.
So yeah, I probably never made the switch because nothing ever happened. Yeah. And then fucking you see that 3-digit number that starts with a 4 and you're like, holy shit. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously, it really is just super important that we're having this conversation. That means that you're technically set. I mean, that's how I think of it. Obviously you're not where you want to be, but I think like 95% of that battle is just knowing like, oh, I got a problem and now I'm on my way to doing it. Not only that, well, first of all, you already said you got the problem, but now you're doing it and you're continuously doing it.
Like, you saw potential in yourself.
It gets me so excited because that's straight up the battle right there. You're winning it.
Every now and then I remind myself like, what are you going to be when you lose all this? Mm-hmm. What kind of unit are you gonna be to the world?
Because
like,
Chad.
Every
time my bro be like, hey, but we're gonna be Chads today.
Yep. Because one thing I really want to do is to be a light to the world, to those that were where I was. Yeah. Be a good person.
And this is a good way to put that to the pod too.
Yeah.
Show Absolutely. The viewers. So what got you into like I need to lose the weight?
Trigger.
Like, what triggered it?
There were a handful of things. One was everyone around me was concerned for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Thomas was, your dad even, everyone in my family, chosen family, you know. And then I took some mushrooms and thought on another level. And I realized, holy shit, I need to change. I need to stop this. And that hit very hard, but it didn't exactly break it. And then I went home. I was scared. I was incredibly scared. And I decided to step on the scale and saw that 3-digit number. And that is probably what broke it. Because a big thing, actually, is that Charles, a few times in my childhood, tried to start working out.
Mm-hmm.
So we would both get into, changing and being who we want to be, but he never stayed with it. And I was a child, so I never did too.
Mm.
And he quit. Actually, important. The reason why I'm probably like this today, one of the reasons, is he quit cigarettes when I was a young kid, and then what he turned to was buffets. And so, that was a big thing. And now whenever I don't like buffets at all anymore. I went to one like a few months ago, just as a cheat day, because it's good for mental health. And I just saw these people, and I was like, oh my god, this is a place of greed and gluttony, you know? And I saw this grown man scooting away veggies from the meat.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie. No, it's alright.
You gotta eat your veggies.
Hey, gotta eat your veggies.
So it helps you shit.
It's fiber. That's a lot of things in there.
I be doing that stuff. I ain't gonna lie.
I bet you be having bad shits.
Look, no. Okay, so I remember that. I don't eat carrots. Anybody that knows me?
Love carrots.
I don't eat them.
I don't like carrots either.
I swear to God. I love raw carrots, but I don't like cooked
me
carrots.
And you, I fuck with it. It don't matter what carrot it is. No carrots.
I love vegetables, especially when they're cooked right, or sometimes even raw broccoli, raw carrots, you know, or good Brussels sprouts with some cooked good.
He about to make some bangers. I can tell he about to be making
some. This guy sounds like a chef.
Yeah, straight up, he about to make some. He about to be chefing it up. Yeah. I can already tell.
It's, the right recipe, you can eat a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah.
Because even people that don't like fish, cook it in the right way, maybe get a nice sear on I think that's what you gotta do
for this guy, for your brother.
For him, it's the mental aspect. I don't think it's the flavor.
Yeah, he has the seafood blocking him.
You just scared of fish? You scared of fish?
Yeah, he's scared of little fish.
I'm scared of squids and octopus, but I eat them up. I tear them up.
He's scared of little Finding Nemo.
You know what's crazy? I'm getting on you, but I am too.
When I was eat sushi though.
I mean, I'm gonna munch the heck out of some sushi, but I swear to God, I've probably told stories like this before. If I step in a lake and someone brushes my leg, I'm out, bro.
I hate murky water.
It don't matter. It don't matter if I can see. That's even worse if I can see them. If I'm in the ocean just chilling, I see little fish.
If I can see it, I'm good. If I can see it, I'm good. Just hate murky water.
So looking back, besides what we just talked about, looking back. Would you change anything, or would you try to change anything, or how you think about things,
or realize anything soon?
Because I know you said you wouldn't want to change anything, but what about like how you think? I guess
how I think. Change? You mean change how I think?
Well, it's like
Here, I can give you an example. So like for me, like, I'm saying, I don't regret anything, right? But there's, like, I do wish that maybe I could have studied a little more, or got out there and saw some friends, because, I just didn't before, so I wouldn't change the path that I did, but I wish that I could maybe made some better decisions in the past, you know?
Yeah, I wish I could have made some better decisions, not done this or did this. Yeah, I was gaslit a lot as a kid, made to think I was evil, you know, because I just, you know, I did the little kid things. I took this or didn't do this. And, you know, I wish I didn't do those, but I was a kid.
You're a kid. You can't control that.
You don't have empathy.
Kids just do whatever. Like, they just until like adults tell them, hey, don't do that, and you gotta tell them. So the thing about kids is that you gotta tell them not to do it, but you also gotta tell them why. And that's also another conversation we had, in the single mother pod. Yeah. The reason why you gotta tell them is so they know the consequences and know like why, and then if they do it, you know. They're gonna be like, okay, what the adult said was right. I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah, they had this little nephew. You know, he wouldn't want to brush his teeth. But then I was like, one day I thought about something. I was like, hey man, you know, if you don't brush your teeth, these little girls they gonna talk to you because you're gonna be stank. You're gonna be a stank little boy. You ain't gonna have no friends. And then he started brushing.
It's like those kids that smell like kitty litter. It's like
that's like you're like, oh, no girls ain't gonna kiss you.
You ain't never. Hey, a single girl gonna touch you. That girl you racing for? She don't want to race. She don't want to race with you. Yeah. No, okay. But like, stuff like that. Anyways, just want to say that. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry. All right.
That was funny.
So real quick, I just want to like say to the viewers, right? Because we're like kind of changing subjects here, but the whole point of this is kind of like a self-growth kind of deal. This isn't specifically about dropping GED, out or anything. The whole purpose is straight up to self-growth. You know, that's why we're getting this story.
A big thing is pay attention. Pay attention to yourself. It's you can know all these little tricks, but then it can all fall down if you're not paying attention. Yeah, that's the keystone of everything.
Well, it's also just learning about yourself too as a person and trying to find self-growth, because not a lot of people learn about themselves, and some of them don't even find self-growth. So it's kind of interesting because we're grabbing your story and learning about how you can self-grow even from isolation, and it's because people that are surrounded by people can't even self-grow.
Yeah, because they don't have any.
There's so many factors in life.
Real quick, I just want to touch back kind of on like a little bit on the dropout kind of thing. Because we're talking about the whole mental aspect of it. When was it that you chose? Did you ever choose, like, mentally said, all right, I'm done, I don't want to go to school anymore, or was it just happening? You just
so as a little kid, I hated school. You know, I didn't want to be in it, and going to homeschool was kind of like a vacation. But then I eventually started to really want to go back to school because I was blocked off from everyone. I relied on the few and far in between neighbor kids because, you know, and then if I did go back in school, I wouldn't really try that hard. So I was taken out, homeschooled, and I have a lot of holes in my knowledge. I had enough knowledge to pass my GED. I now have the little certificate.
Yes, sir. I like looking at that. I ain't gonna lie.
It's shiny.
It's cool. The little green border. It's cool.
But it wasn't my choice to drop out of high school.
Okay.
I was put into the military school. I started to get used to it, and then COVID hit. And then Charles, with his crazy just mind, he forced me to drop out. Then I lived in isolation for, what was it, like 3 years? I think so, Thomas?
From,
when I dropped out of high school?
Oh, yeah, it was a few years ago. Because it was like, was it like right after homeschooling?
It was when COVID started.
Yeah, 2020.
And then even after it ended, I was still...
That was around middle of 2020, around there.
Yeah, and then I, at some point, even started begging
My bad.
Oh,
I keep tapping his foot.
Good.
Playing Tootsie.
Yeah, I'm playing a little footsie on the side over here.
I got long legs. Big feet. Okay.
And lost my train of thought.
My bad.
No, it's okay. I do this on normal. Trying to remember. I was talking about.
What are you talking about? The isolation.
Yeah.
Right.
You're talking about how long it took you.
the homeschooling.
Yeah, with the isolation time.
Yeah.
You're estimating around 3 or 2 years.
Yeah, 3 or 2 years, and
3 years.
those were the longest years of my life.
I do want to say this though. I want to give you props on not going a bad path because a lot of kids that drop out would usually end up in a bad path.
I was before I moved out. I was even thinking about the idea of becoming a dealer, my own kind of dealer. I did plan on starting with like mushrooms, acid, but then I eventually thought like, God, I hate it here. I eventually took mushrooms, and then I started thinking really deeply and why I hate my life. Why am I in such a dark place? Then I realized it's where I am. I had 7 dogs, and I was in charge of cleaning up and feeding all
dogs?
No,
Why are you cautioning the dogs?
7 dogs.
7 dogs. 7 of them. You want to hear their names real quick?
Yeah.
Here.
So, the mother of all of them, Romanova. She is a full-blood red border collie.
That sounds like the Avenger girl.
It is. She's actually named after her.
Romanov.
Yeah, Romanov.
Romanov.
I'm happy you got that, actually.
Black Widow.
Yep, Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because they're both redheads. And then we got Buster. He's a dumbass.
I love that.
Buster.
I love that.
From Ghostbusters.
No, he had no.
Okay.
And then there's Gypsy.
Okay.
Those two don't look like they're siblings at all. But they came from the same batch.
Okay.
And the same mother and father.
I ain't gonna lie. I kind of love that Buster. I might gotta get a dog and name him Buster.
That's my favorite dog.
Yeah.
You know, like back, like old black dudes, call you, hey Buster. You know that?
Yep.
So it kind of gives me an excuse to say Buster. Hey Buster, come here.
Hey Buster.
Hey Buster.
He looks like a sad sausage deer.
He does.
So specific.
What does that mean, bro?
He looks like a sausage. He
long
has
dog.
long legs like a deer. And he looks sad. Even though he's not. And he screams.
So it's a hybrid.
He screams instead of barks.
It's a hybrid of a deer sausage.
Deer sausage.
Yeah, that's my favorite dog.
And
That's funny.
he screams instead of
Why?
barks.
Because it looks like a deer sausage.
I mean,
Yep.
does he have like a long nose too? Little
stands
cute
out
long
more
nose.
than
I love
the
that. I love that.
rest
That's
of
cute.
them.
Yeah,
Long
yeah.
nose.
And Gypsy, she's short,
The most
black
spoiled one.
black and white hair. Buster is brown and white. And they're both their fathers is a Shih Tzu.
Shit. Never mind.
A little fluffy asshole.
Okay. Okay. Fluffy shit.
And then there's Angus, my little
Like
my
the beef?
little baby. Yes.
Oh, Angus.
Exactly.
Angus.
Yeah.
And he's dumb. They're all dumb.
What the hell?
And then there's Gunter. He's
It's a
German Shepherd Border Collie.
Adventure Time?
Huh?
Adventure Time?
No, actually. But I do love that lines up.
That honestly, I thought that came from like the Vikings name.
Gunther? No, that's a little penguin.
And he's a moosey dumbass.
Oh, that's cute.
And then there's Nebula, who actually took over for one of Romy's puppy batches. We didn't want that batch at all. She was way overbred at that point, and then she just somehow got pregnant again by Gunther. And then
Alabama babies.
yeah,
Oh.
Gunther, one of her sons.
Oh.
And then Nebula took over and actually fed them. I didn't know dogs could do that. And then there's Dakota, which I really didn't want, but
That's
Charles
the
is like,
special
oh,
one.
but she's like special. She's special. No, she's
That's the Alabama baby.
The Alabama. Oh, no.
Yep.
She's special because she's the Alabama baby.
Yeah.
You know what that means?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Bing, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
My sister, brother, wife told me so.
That's crazy.
But yeah, those are the dogs.
You should imagine how much of a complete disaster it was when you moved
Oh,
out.
God, yeah. When I moved out, and then months later, we patched things up slightly, enough for me to come get some of my stuff again. I came back there. Dog shit everywhere.
What?
Dog shit.
Nobody took care of anything.
Nobody took care of them.
For how long?
Only he did.
For how long?
Yeah, for how long? Were they in there? Just
months.
no.
Months of like dog shit everywhere. Couldn't step anywhere without stepping in
like
something.
Toxic debris.
That place almost developed some sort of plague. He would have died, or the dogs would have died if he did tear up those carpets and done something.
That's insane.
It's disgusting.
Are those dogs with you now, or
No, they will be soon, but thankfully the house is cleaned. Not as clean as mine, but it's still cleaned.
Oh yeah.
It's not plague level, thankfully.
That's crazy.
So just to wrap up for like heading towards break, what advice would you give to other kids out there, students out there that are going to a similar pathway? Like, what is one advice that's like a big advice that you just
I say
lay out
get them
there?
started on their self-reflection process. You know?
Yeah, get started on your self-reflection. Really look deep into yourself and think. Try to really reflect on problems you're having. Because a big thing was I would have a problem, and then Charles would tell me, "No, you're not. You're overreacting. You're blah, 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 blah. You're spoiled." And, you get the gist.
Yeah.
And really reflect on those and think. Try to think what your parents might have, because they're not perfect. They're not.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's perfect. And remember that you are justified. You're most likely not living a perfect life if you're depressed. That's what Charles wanted me to think. That's one big thing. So then I was thinking like, oh God, I'm just complaining.
We keep hearing your father's name. So what age or what time of year did you finally realize that you had your own brain to think about your own things?
It was probably
instead of your father telling you this is what you are, this is what not you are.
It was probably slightly before I went into military school, but it wasn't as like strong then. It was like it was a vague thought
of it, though,
yes,
right?
it was the start of it.
Okay.
And then as I went into everything, I started realizing this man is fucking crazy. He is insane. He tries to think he's smart, but he's not. Trust me. And he's manipulative.
And when did you full on gather your thoughts and be like, okay, I have my own brain now, not the sliver now? When was the full exact moment?
There is a moment, because I was like his shadow for most of my life.
Right. You broke out that chain.
Mm-hmm. It was probably around the middle of my isolation when I fully realized it. And I realized.
Did anything like trigger it, or was it just like you just had the realization at that time?
Yeah, part of trigger, part realization. Because him being selfish, narcissistic, it's like, God, he has never lost an argument against me. And you can't win with a narcissist. That's one of the things I realized. After I had heard some things, I watch a lot of YouTube, like to get educated.
I do too.
Yeah.
Actually, me and Desmond were talking about like space. That's I'm educated.
Space is crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I like to learn about space, and
something Neil deGrasse Tyson said was we're not special because we're a part of everything, but we're special because we're a part of everything.
What? No, I'm kidding. No, that sounds fire.
It sounds fire. I know it's contradicting.
It sounds like a.
It's
what's it called? Like, what are those? What is that word?
Besides the double entendre, it's
Catch-52? No.
There's a specific word that has a meaning but doesn't make sense.
I'm just gonna call it a riddle.
Shaboinkle.
The riddle.
It's really it. He's the riddle.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time and talking in. We're not finished yet, but we're gonna go on break.
It's hot in here.
Yeah,
thanks for listening in. We'll be back.
I was gonna see y'all soon.
Here's some ads while you wait.
I wish.
All right, we back from break. We're kind of talking about what how you got yourself to have your own mind and not following your father's mind. And now, one more time.
No, I'm saying just think what triggered it. Underneath, go ahead. I was just saying underneath. Yeah.
And how you were kind of in the shadow and you broke out of that.
Yeah.
So my next question is, how did you, sorry, my brain farts. How did you keep yourself motivated to and stay motivated and to even excel?
So when I was in those times, there was nothing. There was no motivation to do anything, even though I wanted to do stuff. But then when I got that one little spark, one little fire to start everything, I moved out. Went with my chosen family, got in a more positive environment, gave myself some time.
Yeah.
Cried it out a little bit, even though crying is a personal thing I don't like.
And it's a weakness.
Yes. Well,
it's not a weakness.
I know.
Joking, though.
He is. I know that crying is not a weak thing.
Yeah.
But for me, it was. I affiliate it with a very weak time. That's why I know it's not bad, but
it's healthy sometimes to just let it go, though. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
like what you're saying. You want to avoid it because it kind of is a reminder or just a sign that you might still be in those times, even though you're not.
Yeah, exactly. That's a big reason.
Okay. Yeah.
I see.
But being in that positive environment and having that time to unravel and think and having a therapist and all that, it motivates you. You want to move forward, and I don't want to be in the place I was.
Yeah.
So I could kind of see that you're saying that your chosen family was your biggest supporter and your brother.
My brother, my Garrett, Polly. I've never had a mother figure, and Polly was a huge mother figure for me, and I'm thankful every day.
Like a dub. Like a dub. Yeah. That's awesome.
But sorry, let me ask this one quick question. How did you ensure your own support too?
Ensure my own support.
Not just having everyone supporting you. How did you ensure your own support, supporting yourself?
Like in not having an external source of support. It's a mixture. A lot of it was like not wanting to go back there.
Yep. Exactly.
A lot of it was it's ugly, but hate, anger, rage, big supporters. Yeah. They're not the healthiest, but they get the job done.
Yeah.
And then they can turn into something amazing. Absolutely. If you can filter your rage or anger into the right energy, then it's wonderful. Like I gained the ability to bring everything up. If I really need to in the moment, I can all right, we need to do this, and then just get my heart pumping, make some physical movements, mental movements, and then suddenly I'm in it.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted your question earlier.
No. I was just gonna connect it to just talking about how you stay motivated. And one thing I want to say for viewers also is that he found something. He found out he likes culinary stuff. He was saying before about something that you like that you can do daily. So
also video games.
Video games. Friends of video games. He had a goal. He wanted to lose weight. But changing how he ate. And then obviously getting out from the I'm just gonna say toxic household that you might have been in. So I think for you guys, to take away from this is just really if you're in that space or you're already out of it and you want to stay out of it, having those goals, you know, and as long as it's tailored to you, something that you love. And then
I feel like also like finding some hobbies that you might be, you know, possible, you know, that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Because your goals are your hobbies.
Yeah.
For me, it was...
Well, not necessarily, because hobbies don't have to be all goals. They could just be like...
video games are goals, you know?
Video games are...
I mean, it could be a goal if you want to get into it, but, like, it's a hobby for sure if you just want to just, you know, play it every day and just, you know, enjoy your time and progress through it.
Absolutely.
Even like art could be a hobby. You don't have to be like excessively
something to do with your hands.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I took
to keep your mind distracted. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I took bread ties from Safeway and turned them into like little monsters.
Oh, okay.
He's talking about that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's something to do with your hands.
All right, absolutely. So yeah, just just try to find something, you know, just tailored to you that you really want to do, you know, or
to keep your mind distracted and to also kind of makes you feel better about yourself too in a way, in a good way, because you're knowing that you're doing something you like, and then when you see it, you're like, oh wow, like
something that ground you.
Yeah, you're like, oh wow, I could do that. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And you probably want to keep doing it.
Realize your talents.
Yeah.
Be the fish that swims down the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think when you're in that situation, which I'm gonna call it the abyss, I like to think of it, right? You don't really think of why.
You know what that sounds like?
What?
The word of the day.
The abyss.
The abyss.
The abyss.
The abyss.
See, when you're in that abyss, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you don't think about why these problems are here. So like for him, what I'm kind of getting at is that he, after finding those goals and things he wanted to do, he started seeing, you know, I can't really do that in this hassle. I can't do that with, you know, this mentality that I have. And, you know, I don't know if it's exactly true, but you're saying, you know, you want to lose weight. So it could have been that you also didn't want the body you have. So, you know, from that, he recognized what the problems were. That's how he addressed them. But he only recognized what the problems were by starting goals, doing things daily, you know. That's all.
What was your you know, trial and error when you were when you were dropped out as well?
Oh man, yeah, I was in that same exact phase, isolated. I think for me was like, you know, I really wanted to know what it's like to experience life. So when I got out with you, you driving around having all this fun, I was like, oh, you know, life. There's actual life out there. You can actually do things. You know.
When he was talking about like him disappearing for 2 years, he really disappeared for 2 years.
Yeah, no.
I think I tried reaching out to him,
multiple times.
And he didn't even like pick up. I was like, all right, this fucker doesn't even fuck with me no more. I was like, I'm not gonna hit him up anymore. Literally. And then like I guess like 2 years later, one of us hit each other up again, and then we just got connected again.
And that was really like the first time in the years that I was like stepping out of the house doing anything. You know, so that was the main thing.
And he was so innocent.
I was a little innocent little kid. I was an innocent little boy. Now look at me. Looking stupid. No. Stop making it
that was his previous day.
Anyways, yeah, that was the trial and error for me. Give the error. How I think of the error was me not getting out, being stuck, isolated, and then figuring out that I actually can get it out. That's what started it off.
Yeah.
And you stepped out your comfort zone too.
Then joined the military, and then even more. Yeah, now here I am.
Wanting to experience what's more.
Exactly.
Yeah, because in that abyss. That echo chamber of, you know, when you only hear your own experiences.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's so back when Desmond first like re-meet again, we were constantly just talking about just like life and stuff,
goals
and stuff, and that's kind of
how it started.
Yeah, that's how we kind of started doing this podcast too, because we want to talk about that and get like other people's input, like yours and stuff like that, and like a single mother or stuff like that. And
different walks of life.
Exactly. Yeah, everyone have a different walk of life and their own unique skills and talent.
Exactly.
Like a teacher or something like that, or
student, mother. You know, yeah, we're gonna have so many different type of guests. You know, lined up. We're gonna have a deep.
Hey, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay
you know?
tuned to the end of the year of all the recap of the guests we have and all the pods we have.
It's gonna be insane. I can't wait.
So a question for me is like, what was like your biggest fears during that time for you?
Oh God,
and how did you overcome it too?
So, I was a very scared little boy. I was scared of a lot of things. Like there was one weird movie with a monkey in a vent and a kid with a Spider-Man toy. I know that's really weird out of context. I was scared of the vents for a while. But then those fears went away. And then my one that remained was being alone. You know, dying alone, all that. Because humans are social creatures. You know, we need to be around people, and I wasn't. And it's like, God, I don't want to be like this. I don't
you
want to be
can
where
even
I
see
am.
animals trying to socialize with
Exactly.
other animals.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the nature of life,
up.
just socializing with another being.
Yeah.
It absolutely does not work being
And
isolated.
I've had many battles with myself about loneliness or morality, you know? Yeah.
No, I can relate to that at all. What's like the biggest lesson that you might have learned about yourself? It isn't good or bad, but it's something about yourself that after you went through the whole dropout phase and discovered that you're now on a self growth path. Like, what was it?
I discovered I am the master of my own destiny. You know, I am not invisible. I'm not a shadow. I can control.
I just got the Pokemon theme song when you just said that.
Gotta catch him.
Because he's like control his own destiny.
Right. No, but there is truth to that. Because are you gonna let someone else take control of your life? And,
Yeah.
Then when you start thinking like that, you gain more willpower.
Well, it's like you said, you were in that shadow for a few, for quite while.
Yeah,
And then you broke out of that chain where you were like, okay, wait, I can actually control my own destiny.
Your own person.
You know what's and another thing I thought about when we talked about that is like, oh, you could do like this insane TikTok where you're like, oh, I stepped out of my out of that shadow, now I'm in my own destiny.
Yeah,
and
you
that,
sure can.
that fire music coming out.
Yeah.
You
Sure
like
can.
you cooking it and all doing all this crazy stuff.
You
You can have your brother can edit it for you.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely can.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what's actually talking about. Yeah,
it's like
he
those
absolutely can.
It's like those motivational little shorts.
Yeah, it might start with a little dun dun dun
And then
dun dun dun. You know that little song? Dun dun. All right, whatever. But
yeah, the ability to foster your own fire and willpower.
Yeah,
that's a
awesome.
big theme of that part of my life was neglect and rot. You know, some point the idea of like rot became really strong in my mind. It was like, oh my God, I feel like there are bugs under my skin. I feel slimy. I feel ridden hard and put away or something.
yeah, okay.
So I see a lot of purple themed around us, even your clothing.
Love purple.
Can you tell us a little bit why we have
What's the
purple?
problem? Is it royal?
No.
Is it the Saints?
Saints
Row, bitch.
I just really love the color. My favorite colors used to be blue and red, but then they mixed and made purple. And the reason why I wear purple a lot is because, one, I like it, and two, I feel like a lot of people wear the same colors, you know, being a part of the same social, like, construct of, hey, you should wear this, or if you want to look cool, wear this or that, when I want to wear what I like. You know, I like my purple Hawaiian overshirts. I even have like a full purple getup, purple shorts, purple shirt, purple.
It's funny.
You know,
I did the same as that thing. So mine's pink. I did the same as that thing.
I've never seen it wear pink.
and
You literally have.
When?
I've done it on the podcast.
It was like one time.
When?
I think
But
it was only once.
yeah, on the Navy one.
Which episode?
On the Navy one.
I can't remember.
It was that was the pink sweater, but underneath I had the pink shirt.
I
pink shorts,
call Cat.
pink hat.
I call Cat. I call Cat.
I had a pink hat.
I always see this guy wearing black.
I think it was the very first pod.
Yeah.
pull it up.
And then when I come over here too, when I
All right. From now on, you gotta wear pink every pod.
bet. Next podcast, see me all pink. Not.
That's why I always wear at least something in my favorite color because I love it. And I've gotten many compliments on my fit.
It's such a good feeling.
Yeah, and men don't usually get a lot of compliments.
They don't.
And it's crazy to me. Like, I have so little self-confidence. And then just because I'm wearing what I really do like personally, I'm getting these compliments.
I know how good that feels.
You're getting that self-confidence.
Yeah, it feels good.
Well, you know what's kind of crazy, because a lot of these podcasts that we're in currently, it kind of connects with the other podcasts that we've done. So the previous podcast that we kind of talked about was the Second Love pod, when you were talking about like self-building self-confidence. You remember that?
Yeah, I'm relating to him so much. 'Cause I had no confidence too. I had none. I was like, bro, nobody likes me. I scrapped. I was the ugliest motherfucker in the town, no matter where I went, right? And then one day, after starting my self-growth thing, I started wearing a do-rag, tied up. Started wearing my skater fits. I'm wearing what I enjoy. I'm getting complimented for it. It's a great
the emo.
I swear to God, I get complimented on my emo fits. I swear to God,
because you glow when you do that. You have an aura about you that like shows you really like what you wear, and it's so small. You don't think about what you wear as such a deep detail. For me, it's not wearing something. It's like more working out. Working out. Working out gave me the self-confidence. Like when people like, oh damn, you look bigger than you were before. Yeah, you ain't no skinny no more.
This man, I know we talked about this before, but this man, since the first day I met him, we always talked about how he was skinny. He was trying to get big. I remember looking at him like, yeah, okay, you gonna get big? Yeah, sure, go for it. Now look at him, he bigger than me. What can I do now? What can I do now?
Almost to 200 pounds. Shit.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, he's absolutely.
As soon as I get some money, I'm gonna try to go to the gym with my friends, because I started, actually, when I came back, I started doing workouts. I started walking every day and just like home workouts, and then they started going to the gym after I inspired them, and I really want to go with them, but I just haven't been able to.
Well, it's not about, it's about how you start too, and how you start is the perfect way. As long as you keep continuing and set yourself in a good situation where you can go to the gym, you can keep continue your journey in the gym too.
Straight up,
yeah. And about fitness, it's incredibly hard to just start and then stay with it.
It is.
It's so hard.
I honestly, the reason why, for me, when I first started, that's about confidence too, because I was like, damn, all these guys are big.
Yep.
Like, how am I able to like?
Every day it's a fight with yourself to like keep going, and every time you do it without wanting to, that's another letter to yourself that you're in control. That
I got so intimidated by the gym where I had to depend on going with other people. Like, for example, like with Thomas, all my old friends, and if they don't go, I'm not going. But until I was like, I stepped out my own comfort zone. I was like, okay, I can do this possibility. And I tried it, and I was like, okay, I could keep doing it by myself. Yeah, I can have some friends coming in and out, like that doesn't matter.
But you need to rely on them.
Yeah, but it just can't rely on them. And I was like, and I was able to do it for 2 full years, and I was like, okay, I can still continue what I'm doing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I've gone with my friends to the gym a few times on the free like guest thing.
Yeah.
But it made me just want to go even more.
Yeah.
Because
that's awesome.
Well, so before Desmond even went to the military, we were grinding.
Yeah.
It wasn't just working out. We were like playing basketball and we were working out, but it was like basketball, working out.
Straight drills.
And doing like it was his. Every Sunday we were playing basketball and we were like, okay, we gotta get train. We gotta train. Yeah, you gotta pick. You gotta pick it over me. Get screwed right here. we were so serious. It was kind of funny. It was. And then when it comes to Sunday, we still fuck up every time.
Every time.
And we're playing with some like old people.
And like he ain't gonna make the shot. Every time, switch that 3 in our face. Oh man.
That's funny. I've always wanted to be a part of stuff like that, but then I've also always been the fat kid in my schools or social things, and I physically haven't been able to, and I am starting to be able to. I have more stamina, and it's like I'm excited.
Like I said, it's more on the start than than where you are. Like it doesn't matter where you are as long as you start and you take that.
Do what you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Do what you can. That is the most important.
You still want to enjoy the time with your own ability.
Yeah,
Don't go into other standards. And like just enjoy your own ability and your standard.
If you start out like intense, you quit. You will quit, or you'll be extremely miserable, and then you'll quit. That's what Charles and I did whenever we tried to start something, and we would go really intense, you know. We're going to do this every day. And
that's kind of what I see from, like, my family, too. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll say, like, oh, I'm gonna work out. Yep. And then they quit. Oh, I'm going to quit cigarettes. They don't quit, but they continue. I'm going to stop eating this certain thing. And they don't really stop. Yeah. I'm going to keep going working out. And, you know, they give up on that. And I was like, when are we finally going to break that chain?
So not tailoring your
and I was like,
that loop. And
I was like, okay, I could do that myself. I'll break that chain and do that for myself.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of people help put me into perspective what working out, fitness, consuming it really does. There's so much misinformation out there. So an incredible amount. Like, there's just one video of this girl explaining, like, to burn one Kit Kat, you gotta do 1,500 squats, have sex 37 times, or no, hell yeah,
no, have sex 37 times.
I mean, sure, yes, but you don't need. It's
let me catch.
That's an incredible amount of misinformation.
Let me catch one.
Are you sure it's not like some type of meme?
Ain't no way.
I don't.
Like, she truly believed that?
No, she did. No, people do believe that. You know, people do, like, he's absolutely right. Because, I remember doing my research trying.
And you're a believer. Not joking.
And then there's one YouTuber that really put it into perspective for me, like, how much you have to eat to gain a single pound. Like, chocolate Easter eggs. Like, this big thing. You need to eat, like, 5 of those to gain a pound.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. So you can cut yourself a little slack if you have this.
It's all about just
don't cut out what you love really fast.
No.
I want to kind of get into, like, your culinary stuff now.
Same.
Love that.
So your next step is obviously culinary, right?
Yep, going to LCC.
What got you started into culinary? Like, what got you interested into it?
I loved culinary stuff my whole life, but I didn't really know it for a while. I was made to believe that I loved piano. I didn't. And
were you playing like Beethoven?
No, just like repetitive stuff, and it's like, oh my god, you're so good. You're so good, and then I just like did the same riff over and over and over again, and I could sing while doing it, but like it's not that hard. Yeah. And all my life I was like watching my father make like something simple like spaghetti or Alfredo or something, and I would. There's this really specific memory of me being on like this weird little half wall, me sitting on top of it in Clone Wars pajamas and a Clone Wars onesie, watching him and like being fascinated that all this stuff coming together makes something delicious. And then, I loved the movie Ratatouille.
Great movie.
Yeah, great movie. So you know, like.
You got a mouse underneath that chef hat.
Remy whipping up stuff, you know.
You got a little chef yourself.
Ah, thankfully it's all me, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind though.
So it's something that you've always been like somewhat inspired and intrigued with it, you know, growing up. But then once you started kind of building your confidence, you were like, what if I tried it? And then there you go.
Yeah, really funny actually how it started, how it genuinely started, is. Charles liked to go out a lot, leave me home as a little kid, and, I was alone, hungry. I would make myself something quick, but then one day there wasn't really anything, and so I, tried to make something, and I put a salmon patty into the microwave, and then ate it.
Damn.
And then he saw me do this one time. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, I'm making myself something to eat. It's like, oh my god, how many times have you done this? And a few times. He took me to the doctor. He said, he's fine. He might have a little blood in his stool, but he'll be good. And then from then on, he taught me how to cook, what to do, and this and that. He taught me very simple things, things he knew.
Yeah.
And then I started showing more of an interest in it. And then he got me books. And then there was the time I said, hey, I don't want to play piano anymore. That's a whole other story. And then started focusing on culinary stuff from then on.
That's awesome.
And
that's great.
Yeah. Now I'm here.
Have you like set up a plan, like kind of like a vision board, or just some type of goal, maybe like the school you want to go to? Or
I do want to go to the school at Coos Bay.
What's that?
Oregon Coast.
Oregon Coast.
Well, you say he's gonna, follow along with his godfather. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm gonna be with him for a little while.
Does he have like a restaurant too, or is he like?
No, he's retired. He's retired-ish. Okay. He does like some land stuff, but he's like he has free time a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna be learning some stuff from him. And
have you ever thought potentially just working at a restaurant and just becoming a line cook for a few days, or like a summertime at least, to just learn how to work in a kitchen environment?
I've wanted to do stuff like that. I've been looking at in the town that I live in. Mm-hmm. There's this place called Jack's Brats that are hiring, or Obu Ramen. They're hiring for the new deli that just opened up, but
to be honest, I don't think a deli would be a good start.
No, I don't think
I think you need like a real like fire passion kitchen where like, hey, I need this at this time.
Actually doing stuff. I'm probably gonna start out as a dishwasher first.
That's where a lot of people start from before cooking. I think cooking it's a skill that could be taught. Because when I started working in the restaurant industry, I was just a busser, host, and then when I switched jobs, they kind of taught me the basic stuff too.
Then there's also talent to it, and
then if you
knowing what to put in
exactly,
and creative freedom with it.
What's funny because it made me think about how I start. I don't really have like a crazy interest in cooking, but I'm not gonna whatever I make's not about to bland bullshit. I'm gonna season whatever it is.
God, I love like any kind of like throw the whole seasoning cabinet in there.
I'm gonna throw it.
It's like Remy throwing the shit.
I swear to God, I be sitting here. There's 6 different ones on a burger patty for no reason. God. I just want to eat them all just for no reason.
Like there's a stereotype that white people
salt
have
and pepper.
Very bland, like it's too spicy. Load me up. I want everything. I want all the spice. I love spicy food. Love it. I did the 1 chip challenge. Barely flinched.
Yeah. You gotta do the wing challenge.
Oh yeah, I do.
The fire alarm one. Have you heard about that?
I haven't had wings in so long. God.
That would be a good tough challenge, the wing one.
I would love to do that.
Because you're not just eating 1 chip, you're eating like multiple fucking fiery wings.
Like I'm even kind of a part of the spicy culture. Like it's been officially recognized that Pepper X is now the new hottest pepper.
Pepper X.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you know your spices and all the all the other shit. Mm-hmm. I can't brain for what.
It's just about knowing
like the ingredients and stuff. Yeah. You could make anything you want, and like it's like learning all the scientific stuff.
Have fun with it. Yeah. Experiment.
Take y'all time. I think the biggest thing that messed me up with trying to cook was trying to cook my shit fast, like on high. Mm-hmm. Man, put that thing. If you have like a 3 out of 10 on your stove, put it on 3 or 4. And just take your time cooking it. I promise you will never go wrong doing anything.
Yes, and putting it on max doesn't make it cook faster. Yeah. It's just like it burns it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Burns it.
So would you say your next goal, after like working with your godfather, you're gonna go to culinary school or you apply for it?
I've already applied.
Oh, okay.
I've already been accepted, and I think September I'm gonna start.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Hey, that sounds like
a dub.
Yep. Hey, Thomas, how many dubs have we have today? Have you been keeping track?
It's 1 dub, 2 dubs, 3 dubs.
So many.
It might be 4 or 5 dubs.
Maybe 7.
7 dubs.
The last podcast we did, Thomas spoke a little briefly about you. I don't know if he told you, but
it was exactly what you said.
It was just talking about you progressing.
Oh yeah.
And we also got some dubs from that too.
Yeah, straight. That's where all our dubs came from. Yeah, that's where all our dubs came from. Your story. Here he is giving us a true dubs.
Cool.
Where it all roots from.
Yep. I've definitely had a lot of accomplishments in life. Yeah. I had no faith in myself at some point, and you have to. You have to, or else you're just gonna throw your hands up and just give in to the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the beast.
What advice would you give to reach a goal like that, like you're doing right now? To those viewers out there.
You mean like just
to get
general
that passion?
life goals?
Yeah, to keep your passion. Yeah. To achieve your goals.
Yep. Try to see the negative, but also focus on the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Because as humans, we naturally move towards negative things, unfortunately. And have faith in yourself. You're not an idiot. No one is. No one is an idiot. We're all just good and bad in our own things. Yeah. It's the whole point of evolution, you know? Right. If everyone was good at the same thing and had identical genetics, then we'd all die of one plague easily. You know, or we would never evolve technology, never have this podcast, you know, without being different. And we're all different. Just remember that. Remember, you're smart.
Speaking about different, our podcast, like I always want to mention, our podcast is different. And
yep.
It's all about
we like to grab
it's awesome.
Each people's perspective of life and their specialties and
being intrigued on how they do things, what they do.
What they're known for, like being a teacher or being a single mother, and what
because those are interesting perspectives.
Yeah. Instead of just learning, some rich celebrity or whatever.
That's old. That's old.
Because we're all people. If you have a certain job, you're not that job. You're a person. Doctors can make mistakes. Teachers can make mistakes. You're not a robot. Like,
hopefully we can get a teacher on this. I mean, not a teacher, a doctor on this podcast.
That would be cool because
that would be hard to find.
I follow a lot of doctor YouTubers.
Any doctors out there, hit us up.
Yeah, absolutely. A therapist, a doctor, hit us up.
Seattle, Washington.
Yeah. Get your perspective.
If you're visiting Seattle, Washington, please. Yep. If you're a rich doctor, come fly out.
Come fly out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe donate.
Get some of those misconceptions out of there, because there's a lot.
There is.
Yeah, like I love Dr. Mike, and he clears a lot of misconceptions.
I'd be watching too. You probably heard him.
Dr. Mike.
No, Dr. Berg. You heard Dr. Berg?
Probably.
Larry Bird.
No.
Dr. J.
Yeah.
I think I could say that we learned a lot from this podcast.
Yeah.
Not just about Avery as a person, but also learn about self-growth and techniques, how to deal with situations that you're in.
It's fine to make mistakes, too.
And
you'll learn your own things, because also important is make your own conclusions. Don't follow people like a sheep. Because that's what I felt. It's hard
nowadays because a lot of people will look at social media and they'll follow them like a sheep.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And remember, they're people too, and they're also going off of their own instincts and what to do. Follow your own. Follow what works for you. You know, listen to yourself.
I just want to say we really appreciate you opening up on this podcast and coming in. Do you have anything else to add on? Or
no, I think we touched it down. Like, seriously, everything he's saying is inspiring stories.
Like what Desmond was saying earlier, it's not about like a high school dropout. It might be like that on the title for clickbait, but it's more about learning self growth and handle how to handle a situation that you're in. And then learning about yourself and finding hobbies and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And respecting yourself as a person and gathering your own thoughts and not some other person's thoughts.
And what we learned is that, we're touching on, where he was at in a negative headspace, a lot of times when you're in a negative headspace, you don't even really know who you are or why, and
and we can see that Avery gone through several years of negative headspace and just constantly just going down that negative headspace, but now...
That's when you go back and genuinely ask yourself.
Yeah, and then now he stepped up. He could have went to the bad route and like you said, sell drugs.
I would be insane.
Yeah, and start stealing and whatever bad route there is out there.
Or even just still isolating yourself. Yeah, it's even worse damn near.
And that's just a whole dub.
That's a dub. University of Dubs.
There's one more dub we missed. You didn't say you graduated from your GED.
He did. He said he got a certificate.
Yeah, the shiny little.
Oh man, this guy wasn't even paying attention to the podcast.
The biggest dub.
Damn. This is for Thomas. That's for Thomas right there.
I'm gonna cut this out. I can't even do that.
Almighty editor.
Alright, I appreciate Avery so much.
No problem.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening in. I hope you guys gather something from learning from this. And if you have any questions, please let us know by the comments. Please like, subscribe, all the corny shit. Turn on your post notification, comment down. If you want to join the podcast, DM us or email us. We got a lot of interesting upcoming guests coming our way. And stay tuned. We're out.
Thank you guys for listening.